Happy New Year, everybody! 2013 has finally come to an end, and I gotta say it has been a wonderful year. So many great games have come out. The console war is heating up with companies at each other's throats left and right. You got the Xbox One, you got the PlayStation 4, you got Nintendo Wii U is doing its own thing, and now you have a new competitor, the Steam engine, whatever it is, that now has computer games coming out of the woodwork that you can now play at home and all of that good stuff. Don't even get me started. But now, it's time to look back at all of the greats of the last year. I can't say this year because that's not true anymore. So 2013's top 10 for a bonus round, because so many games came out, is going to be turned into 2013's top 20 video game list. The 11 through 20 are basically going to be the honorable mentions, while 1 through 10 will be my personal best of the year. So tell us, what do we got going on here?
Let me tell you right now, we got a hot list lined up for you. It contains a whole bunch of jam-packed titles. And if you don't love this list right now, you're gonna be missing out big time.
That sounds hot. So, I guess without further ado, we need to jump right in. This is the Brotherhood of Gaming's top 20 video games of 2013.
Number 20, Sonic Lost World.
Sonic the Hedgehog is a character roller coaster. He has his ups and his downs, his good games and his bad games. While the vast majority have mixed opinions on this particular title, for me, this was not only new, but a blast from the past. Back in 1996, an anticipated video game we awaited for quite some time was known as Sonic X-Street, featuring a similar playstyle, although a tad dated, but because of hardware instability, the game unfortunately never saw the light of day, leaving the Sega Saturn without a Sonic title of its own. Come almost 2 decades later, we, in a manner, do get to experience some of it. That's how some of us saw it anyway. I wish I got to have more to say about this game myself, which is sadly why it's so low on the list. Had I have done so, it probably would have moved a lot closer to the top 10, if not be in it.
Number 19, Zelda Wind Waker HD.
If Zelda doesn't have what it takes to be on anyone's top 10 list, I don't want to live on this planet anymore. Wind Waker definitely had a lot of hate when it was first announced. Why? Simple answer. We were promised this. And then got this instead. It didn't really faze me as a problem when I saw it. In fact, I welcomed it for being different. 10 years later, we revisit that classic gem with updated visuals, new antics, and fun gimmicks that make it all the more refreshing. It was great then, and it's great now.
Number 18, Ni no Kuni.
Top-notch productions in all classes come forth and bring an anime type of RPG game that's a real gem in itself. Music, visuals, and gameplay are all stunning with an adventure that should be in any gamer's collection. Having had high demand with a lot of game shortages, make Ni no Kuni speak for itself. For the price, get your hands on it.
Number 17, Dead Space 3.
While a lot of us definitely know of EA's shortcomings, Dead Space was a popular franchise of horror people love to experience. This one was met with mixed opinions based on a lot of key factors due to EA themselves and their choices in business. After all, they did win Worst Company in America twice in a row. And while not many may take pleasure in Dead Space's newest installment, one thing is for sure, it gave us a kick-ass version of Calling in the Air tonight, which even now people wish they could get their hands on.
Number 16, Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm 3.
I will be the first to admit that I am not a big Naruto fan, but I'll be damned if this game didn't want to make me one. Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm 3, as well as the rest of the Ninja Storms, do its anime justice by making an over-the-top game cinematic experience that throws you directly into its world, explaining the storyline in some cases better than the show itself, in my opinion. The gameplay is tons of fun, with choices to make, incredible sights to see, and a whole bunch of asses to kick. Though it's not in the top 10, I'd recommend this game any day.
Number 15, The Last of Us.
Call me crazy, but I think this game is a tad overrated.
You're a very bad man.
Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying it sucks. The Last of Us has a lot of appealing points and plays out like a movie you are in control of. The pacing and action does keep you interested, and the story is definitely one of the highlights and its main selling point. Unfortunately, there isn't a ton of replay value upon completion. You're not gonna see anything new beyond what you already saw, but it's edgy, it's dark, it's fairly long, it plays like Uncharted, and leaves you with a controversial ending that still have people talking about it today. The game is definitely fun for the first time through, but given that games today is still expensive, I would suggest YouTubing it and calling it a day. I definitely respect it as being a very high budget, well-built title, so it's your call.
Number 14, Luigi's Mansion, Dark Moon.
Like many games before it, Luigi's Mansion was met with mixed results for being different. Years later, it would have such an impact that left many gamers begging for more frights. Fortunately, Nintendo delivered. On a handheld.
Damn.
While definitely an odd move, the Nintendo 3DS did need some games to make them start selling. Better that we got it than not at all. Dark Moon goes above and beyond, and is already going to be one of the many choices of other gamers to be in their 3DS list.
Number 13, Batman, Arkham Origins.
As much as I enjoyed the Arkham franchise, Batman Arkham Origins unfortunately fell a little flat. It definitely wasn't as long, and graphically it felt like a step down. Couldn't place my finger on it, but the cape looked like it had seen better days. While it's great to see some faces like Slade, aka Deathstroke, and nods to Nightfall, the advertising promised more than the game delivered. It's still a fun and awesome entry, but there's reasons it didn't make it. I'd wait for the prize chop, but Batman is Batman.
Number 12, Assassin's Creed 4.
In my humble opinion, Assassin's Creed peaked at Revelations. After then, it seemed clear that Ubisoft wasn't sure where to take the franchise anymore, and stories up to now seem pretty evident. However, the overworld sandbox of exploration and a bit of history lessons on the side always make us come back for more. Some love it, some are probably sick of it by now. But if pirates is the life for you, then look no further. The voyages of the Seven Seas were definitely inspiring and well done. If you're a landlubber, this may be hard to swallow, but success cannot be argued with.
Number 11, Pikmin 3.
Among the handful of Wii U titles comes Pikmin, a series that has lived on through many of the nostalgic hearts. I remember when Pikmin first appeared on the GameCube, and even now, adventures with Olimar never get old. It's a game of a different color, quite a lot of them too. Not going into too much detail, but Pikmin 3 is definitely one to check out. Now that the honorable mentions are out of the way, it's time to get into the meat of this video. If some of your favorites were in the honorable mentions, we do apologize, as this is our list. If you love the games above, wonderful. Keep on doing so, as so will we. Now let's do this!
Number 10, Castlevania Mirror of Fate.
Lords of Shadow is a Castlevania reimagining that many of us welcome and loved, and some weren't exactly happy with the changes. Be that as it may, you guys are wrong, and may God have mercy on you. Mirror of Fate serves as the chain of memories / midquel to Lords of Shadow, telling an in-between storyline in a classic Castlevania side-scrolling format, maintaining the fun gameplay it had before and implementing side-scrolling nostalgia with 3 playable characters only ensured that we had a lot to look forward to once Lords of Shadow 2 arrives.
Number 9, GTA 5.
Grand Theft Auto 5 is, in one word, big. I actually like the story enough to finish it. There is so much to do in the sandbox, it's crazy. There's nothing I can say about Grand Theft Auto 5 that nobody doesn't already know and hasn't said a million times over since its release. Which means you'll all understandably know why it's here. Just don't buy it for your kids. Seriously.
Number 8, Pokemon X.
While all those children are off playing those Call of Duty games, the rest of us are playing a man's game. Pokemon X and Pokemon Y. After all these years, this franchise is still as strong as ever and has only gotten better. Expanding on its world and worldly connections make Pokemon one of the most worldly connected games ever made. And hopefully, it will continue to do so for many years to come. Sure, you're capturing innocent worldly creatures and forcing them to fight and die for you, but that's okay.
Number 7, Metal Gear Rising.
I never thought I would see the day when I wanted to play as this guy so bad. Talk about polar opposite and one hell of an upgrade. Not to discredit Raiden, looking back, he wasn't that bad. What the problem was, we were promised Snake and got him instead. So our problem wasn't with Raiden so much as it was false advertising. Back on point, Metal Gear Rising serves well as an alternative point of view on the Metal Gear Solid franchise. Though its key points stay faithful, you can play stealthy if you wish, but why? You're likely now the biggest badass alive. A great installment with awesome music to boot.
Number 6, Injustice: Gods Among Us.
Fighting games are all the rage amongst any gamer from hardcore to casual, and using iconic characters like Superman, Batman, and so on to tell a story and have an almighty clash with superpowers make for a fun beatdown. Loads of features, costumes, missions, characters definitely are inviting, and if you have a favorite character, nothing is more fun than whooping all kinds of butt with them once you have practiced enough. The Game of the Year edition is a must-try.
Number 5, Project X Zone.
Project Cross Zone, being the third installment in a series of RPG crossover titles, going back from the PlayStation 2's Namco x Capcom to Endless Frontier to now, you can play them by themselves and they stand strong, but the characters have history with each other as known. Seeing these characters from completely different universes and companies having known each other made packs is a fan's ultimate fangasming dream come true. Like the next choice on our list, it just goes to show that with good writing, any set of characters can come together for a collaborative game of awesomeness. And Project Cross Zone and the ones before it show it well.
Number 4, Kingdom Hearts 1.5.
When companies take it upon themselves to make an HD version of a popular game series from years ago, it's more or less a cash grab for nostalgia. However, Kingdom Hearts 1.5 HD Remix is different, supplying American audiences with the final mix, aka complete version of the story arc of Kingdom Hearts 1, the PlayStation 2 remake of Chain of Memories, and the all-new cinematic movie of the Nintendo DS title of Kingdom Hearts 358 over 2 days, treated this as an all-new game in itself, which was highly necessary since the worst thing Square Enix ever did was alienate the entire fandom by making a sequel on just about every console available. By making an HD collection compilation with extra features, refurbished titles, as well as turning a couple into movies, makes this the sure way to prepare you for the third numerical installment in this popular franchise. Whether you love it or hate it, you have to give it the respect it deserves, engrossing so many people into its worlds.
Number 3, Zelda The Leaf Between Worlds.
It's very rare when the Zelda game lets you down. None of them really have. Each one is different in very big ways, from gimmicks, worlds, goals, and items. But what happens when you revisit one of the worlds from our childhood that looks just about the same way as you left it, only newer? Well, you get one of the best games Nintendo's had to offer in a long time. I'm sorry, Mario, you may be the most famous video game character in Nintendo's library, and I love you to time indefinite, but Link is definitely in control for the time being. Hyrule has gotten some visual enhancements, but it feels just like the 90s. Naturally, new villains want to ruin it for everyone, but with you on guard, there is no worry. A blast from A Link to the Past.
Number 2, Tomb Raider.
Crystal Dynamics had one more chance to impress the masses with a Tomb Raider title that would blow everyone away. And not only did it, but it quickly became the hottest title available and sold millions in its first few months of release. Though deemed successful by Crystal Dynamics and the general public, it appeared Square Enix wasn't impressed since it failed to clean up the mess that their unselling Final Fantasy games had made. Regardless, it was a brilliant reboot and worth every penny, and we cannot wait to see more, which is inevitably going to happen.
Number 1, The Tales of Xillia.
Having been released to the American shores, and with Namco Bandai listening to the cries of their audience outside of Japan, the Tales series has finally begun to resurface where it thought to be dead. Although it's debatedly their most popular video game series in Japan, everywhere else it was just under the radar due to lack of advertising and so on. Tales of Xillia, to date, not the newest the series has to offer, but with its fabulous artwork, visuals, musical score, and as always, addictive gameplay with replay value to keep you busy far beyond the end credits. Long live the Tales of franchise.
Well, guys, it's been a great year in 2013. So many great games. We cannot wait to see more. If your game wasn't on the list at all, we do apologize, but it was our own personal choice. Do not take it to heart. Meanwhile, we're going to go and play some more games. We hope to see you again on the Brotherhood of Gaming. And until next time, keep on gaming, viewers.
Peace out, home dog!
Get out of here, kid. You bother me.
You watching the Brotherhood of Gaming, fools! Subscribe and follow us on Twitter and Facebook.